Hello everyone, James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me, and today we're taking a look at this bag right here, the new M44 Haversack by the Hidden Woodsman, a thing of absolute beauty. And to the best of my knowledge, I do believe this is the first time this bag is being reviewed on YouTube, so pretty exciting stuff. So thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Okay, now before we begin, let me go ahead and give the specs first. Now, like all Hidden Woodsman products, this is made in the United States, so it's American-made, handcrafted. This sells for $50. The dimensions are roughly 11 by 9 by 3. It is made out of 1000D Cordura with 500D liners. And then there's an adjustable strap in the front, adjustable straps back here for your shoulder, and then there's a slit pocket pouch in the back. And other than that, it's pretty simplistic. There's no molly webbing, there's no room for attachments. It's very simplistic, very retro. It looks just very World War II inspired, you know? So I really like that. I just had to get it. I didn't need it. I already had two Hidden Woodsman Haversacks, but I just love this design. And then it has really cool, the newer rubber logos over here, and I think that looks really cool. Really like this boxy design. Alright, so let's open her up. Now, before we take a look at the inside of the bag and the contents that I'm carrying, let me just show you this stuff right here that I'm not going to be including in there. Now, you just saw me making soup with my Pathfinder nesting cup, so it's dirty right now, so I don't want to add it in there and risk getting it dirty and getting soot on stuff. So I'm going to rinse this before I leave, but normally this rides in there, and of course, this coincides with my Pathfinder bottle where it just goes in there. Now, because I did bring a can of soup today, I was just carrying this by hand. So this is my Pathfinder bottle. Carry my water in here. And then, of course, my container for making soup, boiling water, whatever the case may be. So anyway, let's move on to the inside here. I have the bag with my garbage. Of course, you never want to just leave garbage out here, you know. So I just brought the bag too because, once again, it's dirty. So I don't want to risk a little bit of soup falling and dirtying my stuff. Okay, now basically it's a bucket style haversack. There's not a lot of different compartments. There's this large compartment right here, and then there's a little small back one over here. So let's just start with this back one. As you can tell, it's a different color, so it adds visibility in the darkness. Now, one thing I have here is a secondary flashlight. Of course, I always carry mine with me on my person, but this is a WowTac A6 that we're going to be reviewing soon. But it never hurts to have some redundancy in your pack. So, small light, illumination. And then this was a gift from my buddy Raymond. He sent this to me. This was the stove you saw earlier. A little no-name stove that helps out. Like today, as you could tell, we have snow, so a wood stove came in handy. It wasn't as bothersome as trying to maintain a fire, you know, so a larger fire. So I like to carry this in here, nice and flat, fits in there fine. My wooden spoon that I carved this about a couple months back, made out of cottonwood. I also have my main combustion device. This is a large 6-inch ferro rod. This was made by Ernie from Paleo Hiker MD. He sent this to me for Christmas about 2 Christmases ago. So I like that it's very large, and it's a backup one that I carry in here. So main source of ignition. Here is a pocket spice kit I just received yesterday. So in case you guys are watching the Townsend's YouTube channel that does a lot of colonial cooking and that kind of stuff, I ordered this from them. Really love that channel. So yeah, different spices here, black pepper, sea salt, that kind of stuff. I still gotta customize it because there's stuff here that I never use, like nutmeg and cinnamon. So if I can replace those with blackening and Larry sea salt, then I'll do that. I'm sorry, Larry seasoned salt. But yeah, small spice kit. You guys know we love cooking. This is my redundant knife. Now, of course, I carry 2 knives on my person already. But it doesn't hurt to have a small knife. Now this is the Exodus Knife and Tool Adventure Craft, made by Jacob from the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. And granted, it is a small knife, but it is 1/8 inch thick, and it is a fixed blade. So it's going to be a tough little workhorse. My Micarta handles, I believe it's 1084 steel. I could be mistaken. I'll verify in case it's not correct. And then it has a Kydex sheath. So I really like this knife. Works great as a neck knife. It could be a boot knife. I have a review coming in about, if not next week, then a week after that. But really cool little fixed blade as a redundancy. Some hand warmers over here because, of course, as you can tell, we are in a cold environment, much colder than we're used to. I haven't had to use it yet, but we might end up using it before this video is over with. So hand warmers. Thank you to my buddy Leo from Irish Zombie Nation for introducing me to those. Okay, so that's about it for this back compartment. Now let's move at the main compartment. And here is my Baco Laplander. Now this is, of course, is my folding saw in case I need to get some wood to process, to make one-stick fires, to build a shelter, whatever the case may be. This is my preferred secondary cutting tool. And then this sheath, this beautiful sheath, was made by Al from Howling Dingo. He's a gentleman. He has a YouTube channel. He's from Australia. And I have several of his items, his leather items, and they are just absolutely beautiful. So yes, I could put this on my belt in case I was making a shelter. But fits in here to go in here. So that's my second cutting tool. I do have a one Tigress poncho in here. It's a rain poncho just in case you get caught up in rain or light snow like this, and I don't really want to get my coat, with snow and stuff like that. It also doubles as a tarp. It's not a very large tarp, but it can in case I did need to, improvise some kind of shelter to protect me from the winds and stuff. So that's what I like about this. Now, once again, this is another item from Al from Howling Dingo, and I absolutely just love this thing. This is made out of kangaroo leather, and this has bone. I mean, this just looks so, old, antiquated. It looks like something you'd see in The Revenant. I really love it, and this is basically my little fire pouch, my little fire kit. Nothing too serious. We have the Exotac fire sleeve here with the Zippo in there, the rubber handle, the rubber grips. Really like this, so secondary source of ignition. And then these things right here are just things to get a fire going. I have this little tinder tin, once again from Exotac, that's Fatwood shavings, and then this is from a company that's no longer functioning, Pine Fire, and it's a little item, once again, that helps you get a fire started during harsh conditions. So yeah, this is a little secondary fire pouch. As you saw, I did have a cotton ball in there earlier as well. So nothing too serious, not an overly complicated fire pouch, but it works just fine. And I think that just looks absolutely beautiful. Once again, kangaroo leather, that's really cool. Here is a mess of paracord. I got to get this organized, but of course, cordage never hurt anyone. Cordage always comes in handy for whether you're setting up a shelter, whatever the case may be. So yeah, about 50 feet of paracord right here. The lid to my nesting cup, and then a cheapy no-name power bank. This one says Black Web, and this just helps me keep my phones charged. So of course I have stronger, more robust power banks, but this one's nice and light, once again, for a haversack, for day trips and stuff. And that's about it for this compartment. Once again, as you can tell, it's one large compartment with a small secondary one back here. And then last thing is, towards the back here, you can put something like documents, maps, that kind of stuff. I just have a book, hatchet, just to show, that you can just take something very simple if you're going to, once again, a day trip, a relaxation, a quick overnighter. And then last thing is my multi-tool. And of course, this is the Victorinox one-handed trekker. You've seen this knife a million times on my channel. It has a saw, it has can opener, bottle opener, tweezers, a toothpick, all kinds of things, and all. So you should always have a multi-tool in your haversack. Okay, as you can tell, even for a day trip, I have all the items necessary for either just enjoying myself out here or, God forbid, I really need them for some kind of survival situation. I was able to fit a small fixed blade, a multi-tool, which is a secondary blade, a source of illumination, combustion, a folding saw, which is another form of cutting tool as well, cordage, a spoon, spice kit, a portable stove, fire kit, a poncho that can double as an improvised shelter, my battery bank, a book, and hand warmer. So I got the basics of cordage, combustion, cutting tool. I do have the containers, which are not being shown right now because they're dirty, so they're off to the side, but they do fit in there. So yeah, I mean, for being a small bag, once again, I have the necessary items that I need. Alright folks, so that's about the conclusion of this review. I have been using this bag since about late October, early November, and I really enjoy it. I like the simplicity of it. I like that vintage military look. I mean, just look at these straps. They are just beautiful. I think they look really cool. And personally, as I've progressed through my years of camping and bushcraft, I noticed that I kind of like the more simplistic type of bags. So bags that have a lot of like MOLLE webbing and that kind of stuff, it's really cool, but it's something I noticed I don't really gravitate towards. I like simplicity. I also like that good Goldilocks middle ground between a haversack that's big enough to carry what you need, but it's not too big where you overthink it and overcarry. At the same time, you don't have something too small that's practically useless. So I really like this bag. Any constructive criticism that I can give Malcolm is maybe, and you know, this is once again just because I'm looking for something, maybe just like a third small compartment in here, like maybe right here, where I can, like with the zipper or something, I can put in like my car keys or my wallet, that kind of stuff. That wouldn't hurt. It's not necessary, but you know, once again, if I had to look for something that can be used in the future for like a Generation 2 version. Other than that, guys, that's about it for us. As you can tell, we have snow coming and going. We actually have a snowstorm coming pretty soon, so it's getting pretty cold. Our cameras are draining in battery, and it's time for us to head on home. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. I'm all dropping the bag. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up and comment below if you have any questions. And be sure to go ahead and visit Malcolm at thehiddenwoodsman.com to check out his really awesome products made in the USA, made by a craftsman, someone who's one of us, an outdoorsman. So really cool stuff. So we'll see you guys next week with another video. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.